Alright, let's work on set 6 now. You have a rectangular structure built from clay blocks. There's 48 blocks total. The structure is 6 blocks long, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 wide, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 high, 1, 2, 3. Each cube is 2 inches, but first of all, a cube is length times width times height. So if you have length times width times height, that's the volume of one single cube. So one cube is, and if they're each 2 by 2 by 2, that's 2 times 2 times 2. So one cube is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 inches cubed. So we'll keep that in mind. That's one particular cube. But it says if each block is a cube but 2 inches long, what is the volume of the space inside? So we're talking about this part inside, which is 2 of them. Let's see, if I tried to flatten it out, my drawings are not very good, but let's say 2 of them. And then it's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 4. This would represent the inside that we're talking about, which is on the image is in here. Okay. And also, how high is that? So if we was to come up this way, it's 3 cubes high. 1, 2, 3. Pretend that's height. It's not very good, but we're trying to get that on the inside of it. So we're going to have that area. So just this part up here is going to be 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 by 4, which is going to be 8, but then it's also 3 high. So 8 times 3 is 24. So we'll have 24 blocks that represent that inside portion that's not shown. If you have 24 blocks, but each block is, the volume of each single block is 8 inches, and I have 24 of those, then we would say 24 times 8, which is just going to give us 24 times 8 is 192 inches cubed, because we're talking about volume. An opera theater sells 2 types of tickets. You have balcony tickets that are $120 each, and you have mezzanine tickets that are $70 each. If the theater sold total 910. So first of all, balcony plus M is equal to 910 total. We know that. That's how many total tickets. And the amount that they made, we have to account for the cost in that one. So 68,200. How many were balcony? So first of all, balcony plus M is 910. The other equation we're going to work with is going to be 120 for a balcony plus $70 for an M is equal to 68,200. All right. If I go back up to my original equation and I just solve it for one variable or the other, I'm just going to solve it for balcony. So I'll say minus M, minus N, M. Then the balcony is represented by 910 minus M. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that in place of B. All right, so I'll take, this is using substitution. I take 120 plus B, times B, 70M is equal to 68,000. Using substitution, I'm going to take this value in place of B, since that equals B. So 910 minus M, using substitution. You're going to distribute here, multiply, and distribute there. So 120 times 910 is going to be 109,200. And then 120 minus M would be minus 120M. And then leave the rest of the equation alone. Just carry everything out. add like terms right here. So that's going to be minus 50m. So I want to subtract this from both sides so that I can get m by itself. We're solving for m. So that gives us negative 50m. It's equal to, subtract those two and you get negative 41,000. Put that in your calculator. And then to get m by itself, divide both sides by negative 50. So that the m tickets are 820 of them. Well, the question is how many are balcony tickets? Well, then we come back up here and plug that in. So balcony is equal to 910 minus m, and we know what m is now. So 910, and we said m was 820. So 910 minus 820 is going to be 90. So 90 are balcony tickets. So in this particular one, you have to set up two equations and use substitution method. If this equation is graphed, which of the following points lie above the line? Select all that apply. We're just going to have to plug them in. This is a plug and play. So if you start with y equals 3x minus 4, so y equals 3 times x minus 4. So let's plug in 0 for x, negative 0 for x, negative 6 for y, and see what we get. Well, 3 times 0 is 0. Negative 6 is equal to negative 4. That's false. So, no, because this one's check all that apply, so we have to test all of them. Alright, that one was false. Our next one is check when x is 1. When x is 1, y is negative 1. So that's going to be 3 minus 4, which is negative 1. And this one is true. Actually, when we look at this, I need to rethink that because this is above, and I almost missed that bold word right there, above. So what I need to really be checking is greater than, meaning larger than that. Now, is negative 1 greater than negative 1? No, that means this one's right on the line. So it's not really greater than. So that one's not true either. Careful, almost missed that, this keyword above. Now we're going to check the next one. And we're going to check when x is 2, y is 4. And then I'm going to have 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. Is 4 greater than 2? Does Pac-Man eat the bigger number? Yes, he does. That's true. So we do know that 2, 4 is in fact above the line. Okay. We're going to check the next one. When x is 3. Well, let me do it in red. When x is 3, y is 2. So 2 is greater than 3 times 3 is 9 minus 4 is 5. Is 2 greater than 5? No. Does Pac-Man eat the bigger number? No, he doesn't. So that one's false. Let's check the last one, which is when x is 4, y is 11. So is 11 greater than 4 times 3 is 12 minus 4 is 8. Is 11 greater than 8? Yes, that's true. So the two answers that apply are 2, 4 and the order pair 4, 11. So be careful with that one because I almost did. 1, it's an all that applies problem, and 2, if it's above, I should use greater than. If it would have been less than the line or below the line, I could have used less than and then checked for true false statements. Alright, In one summer, Keith read K books. Keith read twice as many books as Luann, and then 5 more. In terms of K, how many books did Luann read? So we want to set up um, Keith read K books. So he read twice as many books as Luann. So twice as many as Luann. That means 2 times Luann. And then 5 more. So, and then 5 more. How many books did Luann read? So we want to solve for L. That means we need to get L by itself. So subtract 5 from both sides. K minus 5 is equal to 2L. To get L by itself, if they multiply by 2, you divide both sides by 2. So then you're going to get K minus 5 divided by 2, which is this one. Alright, just a couple more, but here we go. We have a triangle plotted in a standard XY plane where this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. The point A is the coordinate 2, 4. That means you go over 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to it. And B is the coordinate 2, 1. So B is over 2, up 1. And C, we can go ahead and calculate that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 1. So C is 6, 1. They didn't tell us that one, but it's on a scale so we can figure that out. It says if the figure is translated up 3 units and to the right 6, what is the new coordinate of point C? So if I take point C, which is an XY, this goes up or down, and this goes left or right. Okay, so to go up, you add, so we want to go up 3, so plus 3 over here, and we're going to go to the right, so that's plus. If you go to the left, it would be minus, so we're going to go right, so plus 6 units, then that puts us at the ordered pair 12, 4. Or you could take this part and actually go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4 and get a rough idea of where you feel like it is. There's a couple ways to do that one. Alright. One of our last ones here, so we have circle with center O, has a radius of 5. Remember, radius is this. Radius of 5. If the length of the minor arc is 2 pi, what is the measure of the central angle? So if this is 2 pi, it's saying what is this angle right here? So this is our question mark. Now we're going to have to use some proportions, and this is just to keep in mind. We have arc length. This is just some relationships. Whoops, arc. Let me redo that. Arc length. Well, I'll keep doing it. Over circumference is equal to the same thing as if you have your area of a sector. It's hard to write these things small, so just kind of bear with me. Area of a sector over area of a circle. And these are just proportions, which that's also measure of an angle. Measure of central angle over the angle of the entire circle. So it's like part of the circle, the entire circle, part of the circle, the entire circle, part of the circle, the entire circle. So we can use 2 of these relationships to set up a proportion. What they gave us was arc length. They told us arc length, and they also told us the central angle is x. So we're going to use that information. So we're going to choose to use the arc length circumference one and this measure of an angle. So we're going to use these two. Arc length was given, so arc length is 2 pi. The circumference, which is going to be here. Now we come off to the side, and circumference, we're going to recall that circumference is 2 pi r of a circle. Now they told us what r is. Radius is 5. So we can calculate circumference to be 5 times 2 is 10 pi. So we're going to plug in our circumference over here. So we're doing arc length over circumference. So arc length was given in the problem, 2 pi. And circumference we just calculated for our problem, 10 pi. So part over the whole is equal to part over the whole. So we have 360, and what we're looking for is measure of the central angle x. So measure of, that's the part over the whole. So you can set up a proportion there. Then once you have a proportion, you just cross multiply and divide. So you're going to have 360 times 2 pi is equal to 10 pi x. Get x by itself because we're looking for x, so divide both sides by 10 pi. The pi's cancel, and you're going to be left with 720 divided by 10, which is 72 degrees, is equal to x. So once again, we use proportions. Now these are just different proportions to kind of keep in mind, and you only use 2 proportions at a time when you do when you're doing that, so you can set them up, but they're always going to be consistent. So part over a whole, part over a whole, part over a whole. I'm choosing to use the 2 that we're given information for. And then of course once you get the proportion set up, then you just cross multiply and solve for your missing variable.